And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to helping you win in any marketplace, picking a fight with the mainstream media, always providing you the timely truth centered around real estate, mortgage, finance, estate plans, tax plans, so much more. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Our number one goals are to educate, entertain, enlighten, and most importantly, we want to engage with you so that we can help you win.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Now, save our hotline number in your phone. At some point, you're going to need it. 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
813-670-7372. Don't forget our number. Bookmark our website, consumerqb.com. I implore you to check out our website, consumerqb.com. You can see links to all of our expert contributors there, all their contact information. You can submit an email form. You can watch past shows. A lot of good content there for you at our website, consumerqb.com. And it's Intelligent Talk Radio. We've got some intelligent folks here in studio with me today. We've got Kelly Oliver, Business Loan Solutions. Welcome in.
Well, thanks you for having me. You know, I always get so excited to come in and have a conversation with you.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We talk about fix and flips in the real estate space. We're going to talk about some business loans.
Yes.
And I'd love to just kind of dive a little bit about the economy, you know, what's going on in 2019, what's going to happen.
And what we think is going to happen after all these wonderful elections just happened, right?
Yes, thank goodness. I got about 80 text messages reminding me to vote.
That's
like, how do they get my number for that stuff?
Exactly.
But yeah, awesome. So we got an all-star lineup. We got Garrett Mitchell also on the phones. So we're going to go to the phones now. He's a property casualty insurance expert, Insurance Express. Welcome to the show, Garrett.
Thanks so much, Brandon. Glad to be here.
Yes, sir. My pleasure. So insuranceexpress.com. I'm hearing good stuff about you, man. Nick Kick and our mortgage partners are saying that you can do a lot of good for homeowners out there. Business Loan Solutions, or I'm sorry, Insurance Express. So you're helping people with insurance, property casualty, and yeah, let's dive deeper into it.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, you know, I never really saw myself to get into the insurance industry. I kind of fell into it. I was recruited in 2003 for a marketing position, and basically I realized there was a huge void for young, passionate leaders within the insurance industry, and I saw a huge opportunity to really make a footprint for myself. So that's what I've been doing for the past 6 years, is basically helping consumers get the right coverage. And it's just the biggest mistake, if I make one point today on the show, is that when I see people shopping for insurance, so many times they're just looking at that bottom line price. And there's just so much more. Of course, while price is important, it's probably, you know, at the best, third on the list. If you don't have the right agent and the right company behind you, then it really doesn't matter what you paid when you bought the policy.
Yeah, absolutely. I think too many times people just zero in on that premium, and they're shopping premium when, you know, one premium, they're not comparing like what's inside the premium. So what should they be looking for inside the premium?
Basically, what I try to do is when a client buys a policy from me, I want them to know what they're buying, and I want them to understand their coverage. It's crazy because insurance is one of those things. It's one of the only things that you buy, and a lot of times you don't even know what you're buying. You're just buying it because it's required. Yeah. And that's what I try to change and I try to fix. So the first thing is, you know, asking questions and understanding the dwelling limit on your homeowner's policy. The first piece of education that I bring people through, whether they're buying their first home or shopping their policy for the first time in a few years, is let's really take a look at this and let's design something and put something into play that's appropriate for your property and your situation. So, you know, first thing is a lot of people think, well, the purchase price, my contract price on a new purchase is $400,000. So they automatically think that their dwelling limit for their homeowner's policy should be $400,000. And while, you know, it's a common belief, obviously there are things that go into real estate valuations that don't affect rebuild costs, which is what we're looking at. So first things first is I run a detailed replacement cost estimate, and that basically takes into account the quality grade, the features of the home, and develops an estimate based on that specific location's material and labor costs of today as to how much it would cost to rebuild that home from scratch. So that's really step one. But if I'm just going to run through a quick hit list of things that people should consider is, really digging in. Taking that extra moment to walk through some questions with your agent, ask what's on your mind and get clarification on these different things. Because, a lot of times people are busy, and let's just face it, no one likes insurance. It's not fun. And I knew that going into the business, and I've tried to build my business model around that, of alleviating that headache and really creating a dialogue so people understand what they're buying.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. If you just joined us, I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. We're talking with Garrett Mitchell, Insurance Express, insuranceexpress.com, and he's a insurance specialist here, an expert contributor on the Consumer Quarterback Show. So yeah, it's so important to really dig into those policies, especially, here we are in Tampa Bay, Florida in general. You've got all these different storms. We just had a tornadoes come through the area. And if you don't have the right policy, sometimes it's wind and not flood. It's water damage, not wind, and vice versa.
Absolutely. There's so many different products out there. There are so many emerging markets. You need an expert that can help you navigate that space and find a policy and a coverage profile that makes sense for you. There's so many things people don't know. Unfortunately, with the recent hurricanes, I saw a lot of devastation and people, digging through their paperwork to look at their homeowner policy for the first time in sometimes a few years and realize that their hurricane deductible was really, really high. A lot of them didn't have a full understanding of what that actual number was. And what's nice is there are many products that have come to market within the last 12 months that allow for a much lower hurricane deductible. So there are companies that offer flat $1,000 deductibles. There are companies that offer 1% hurricane deductibles, and many times it only costs up to maybe $20 a year to bump your hurricane deductible down to a manageable figure. So again, this is what we do, and I'm happy to speak with anyone that feels it's due for an insurance review. Again, we're always considering price, but there's so much more to look at to make sure that you're covered properly.
Yeah, and on that point, on price, you have the ability to shop different carriers just like a broker would in the mortgage industry. A mortgage broker is sometimes going to shop all the different best loan programs based on that specific client's credit and income. You're going to be able to do that for the client as well.
Absolutely, Brandon. And, this is something that I'm fortunate to be a part of. One of the strongest insurance agencies in the state where, you see it advertised. Independent agents, they shop the marketplace for you. They evaluate different options to give you the best pricing. Well, that's true most of the time. An agent's also restricted by the carriers he or she represents. So if you represent 10 companies, you can only shop between those 10 companies. And I'm very fortunate to have a backing firm that represents every homeowner carrier in the marketplace. So when I go to market for a client, I'm literally quoting them with over 50 homeowners insurance companies. And because of that, I can almost always secure the most competitive terms.
Yeah, that's super important, and especially with the different types of insurance policies out there. Now, are you focused strictly on the residential or commercial, or what's your scope?
My focus is on residential. I focus mainly on homeowners, auto, umbrella insurance. I have a exclusive program for jewelry and fine arts. I also have an exclusive program in 18 states for flood insurance. It's a private FEMA alternative. So that's another topic we can touch on in the coming weeks, is that there are numerous alternatives for flood insurance now, when even 2 years ago you were stuck with the National Flood Insurance Program through FEMA. And then I also do a little bit on the commercial side, mainly commercial property and commercial auto. But the focus here for me and where I can really get out there and help the most people is really through the homeowners and the auto.
Yeah, homeowners, auto. What is that umbrella policy you mentioned? What is that about?
Umbrella coverage, it protects you in liability. So for personal injury, or if anyone sues you through any personal incident, an umbrella policy covers you over and above the underlying limits of the primary policies. So typically, you have an auto insurance policy that offers liability coverage. You have your homeowner policy that offers liability coverage. And if you were to be involved in a personal lawsuit and somebody sued you for, let's say, an auto accident, your automobile policy would cover you up to the limits on that auto policy. But if the suit exceeded those figures, your umbrella policy would cover you for additional limits. So it's really key if you've accumulated assets, if you own multiple homes, if you're a business owner, things like that. It's so important to protect the longevity of that and, look into umbrella coverage.
Yeah, that sounds like a definitely something for specific people. I've heard of like key man insurance, key person insurance. That seems kind of similar to that too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Good stuff. Well, hey, Garrett Mitchell, thanks so much for joining us here. We're coming into our break, but Garrett Mitchell, InsuranceExpress.com. In studio today, we got Kelly Oliver as well, Business Loan Solutions, and helping all types of businesses out there with financing and funding, fix and flips as well in the real estate space. And we're going to talk a little bit about the economy, what we're seeing economic. And we have an interesting story here as well, the salary you need to earn to buy a home right now in the 25 biggest U.S. cities. So stay with us right here at the Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by Platinum MVP Realty, helping you win in any marketplace. And we want to invite you to an event that we've got coming up on December 6th. It's the largest in the Bay. We've got a speed networking event. This is a free event. Business owners, managers, sales people, come on out and join us on December 6th, Earthscape Garden Room, Palm Harbor. It's just off of Alternate 19. Going to have catered food from Amici's Cater Cuisine, the award-winning Amici's Cater Cuisine. Bring a stack of business cards. Come on out and enjoy some great networking with us on December 6th. Speed networking event, Earthscape Garden Room in Palm Harbor on Alt 19. Off of Alt 19, we got Talk of the Town goodie bags going to be handed out as well. Some pretty cool stuff. One of our monthly events that we do here with the Consumer Quarterback Show and Platinum MVP Realty. And I want to give a shout out to Bilmar Beach Resort. The official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show is Bilmar Beach Resort. It's one of the most sought after destinations in the Tampa Bay area for many years. And it's got 2 pools on site. They've got the Sloppy Joe's restaurant. They've got a huge beach. It's Clyde Smith, the general manager, calls it a 2-beer beach. It's going to take you 2 beers as you walk out to the water there. So Bilmar Beach Resort, the official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Give them a call. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Take them up on special offers and incentives. Bilmar Beach Resort, the official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, back here in studio, we've got Kelly Oliver in studio. She's going to be coming up just after we're talking with Garrett Mitchell on the phone. But I want to let you know about a couple of hot listings that we've got here in Tampa Bay. This one is 9303 Alice Lane on Riverview. This is a waterfront beauty that we have listed with Platinum MVP Realty. 9303 Alice Lane in Riverview. And it's a waterfront right on the river. This property is gorgeous. It's 0.83 acres. This is truly an estate-style home. I mean, you've got a large fenced-in lot, 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, estate style pool home with large boat docks situated on a 0.83 acre. Beautiful property, 9303 Alice Lane in Riverview. And we also have a South Tampa property. This one's listed local celebrity here that we have in town. We've got Ian Beckel's house for sale. It's 4613 South Matanzas Avenue in Tampa. 4 bedrooms, 3 full baths. Got a half bath as well. $729,000. Fenced in backyard, beautiful property here. And the best part is you're really close to Bayshore. You can walk over to Bayshore, bike down Bayshore, and enjoy that South Tampa living at its best here in beautiful Tampa Bay. All right, so let's go back to the phone. We're going to talk a little bit more here with Garrett Mitchell, Insurance Express, insuranceexpress.com. So Garrett, I wanted to ask you what your opinion was on flood insurance. I mean, there's some changes that we talked about. You know, the NFIP, the National Flood Insurance Program, was crippled years ago when Hurricane Sandy hit New York, and it's just been every year since. We've been getting hit with different storms. We had the Carolinas, we had, of course, Katrina years back, Florida this year, Mexico Beach. So what do you see happening in that flood insurance realm?
Well, there's a lot of exciting things happening within the flood insurance industry right now. A few years ago, there started to emerge some private carriers that wanted to get more involved in flood. For years and years, the NFIP was the only option. And one of the reasons was because we lacked the technology to properly evaluate risk and evaluate flood risk. And with the different technologies that have emerged, carriers now feel more comfortable assessing risk in terms of flood. And what that's done is it's had multiple carriers come to market offering an alternative to NFIP. So it's, you know, I'll first say I think it is absolutely incredibly important that everybody look into getting flood insurance. When you look at Hurricane Harvey, there was a staggering number of homes affected by flood damage that were not in high-risk flood areas. And every year, roughly 25% of flood claims across the country are filed by homes in what they consider low-hazard areas. So even if your mortgage isn't requiring it, I think it's absolutely imperative that you look into at least seeing what your options are.
Yeah, it's interesting. So now we have competition that's come into the flood market, and with competition, that brings good things, right, Garrett?
Absolutely. So basically what's happening is the NFIP was designed, it's a government-backed program, so everybody has an outlet to secure flood insurance. But what's happened is because they have subsidized pricing on the really high-risk properties that are below base flood elevation, they actually have to overly surcharge on all the other properties that have decent elevation and are actually not that bad of a flood risk. So what happens is with all those properties being overcharged, there's a huge opportunity in the private market. So these new carriers have come in, all accredited, backed companies, many of which being, huge international conglomerates like Lloyd's of London. And what they're doing is they're offering very competitive rates on properties that don't have negative elevation. So basically, in layman terms, if your house isn't in as much of a flood risk as properties with the negative elevation right on the water, et cetera, you'd be really surprised that you can actually obtain flood insurance at a very competitive premium.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, and there's a lot of things that we're going to talk about coming up on the show in future segments here. But we've got to let you go now, Garrett. Thanks so much. We appreciate you. And InsuranceExpress.com. Reach out to Garrett Mitchell. He's going to help you save money. And I always recommend people get a review too, Garrett.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Thank you so much for having me, and I look forward to continuing this talk on the next show.
Yes, sir. Hey, thanks a lot, Garrett. We'll talk to you later, man. Thanks for coming in.
Bye.
Take care. So Garrett Mitchell, InsuranceExpress.com. Check him out online, and he's doing a lot of good things out there helping consumers save money on insurance. And I recommend you get a review. There's a great time of the year right now to get a review. Find out maybe you're overpaying. Maybe you're throwing money down the drain, overpaying on your policies, different policies, home, auto. He's got umbrella policies for business owners. He's talking about jewelry and art, flood insurance. Get it checked, get a checkup, and we'd love to connect with you. ConsumerQB.com. Just send us an email from ConsumerQB.com. There's a submission form that you can submit a form, and we're going to make sure we get right back to you before our head hits the pillow. That's Garrett Mitchell, InsuranceExpress.com. Back here in studio now, we got Kelly Oliver, Business Loan Solutions. So, welcome back. Let's talk about some fix and flips in the real estate game.
Yeah. So, one of the amazing things that has started to come up is that people are always asking, how do I get the money to start investing in fixing and flipping? Because they know that the lenders are only going to do somewhere around 75%. Maybe if they've got a really great deal, they'll do a 90% loan on the home if they're doing a home. But at the end of the day, they need to come up with that cash in between. So there's some things that we can do as far as business loans are concerned is, if you already have investment in existing real estate. So say that you were inherited a home, but you have all the equity in that home. Because you have the equity, you don't have the cash to do anything with that.
Right.
So what we can do is refinance that home. In fact, what we were working with a gentleman who took 3 homes that he had to do a one single loan or a blanket loan over all 3 of them.
Interesting.
In order to get enough money to come out of that so that he could actually go and purchase a business was his intention. But you can do the same thing if you wanted to do fix and flips, is that you can pull that equity that you have and we're going to refinance that home, get some cash out. That's going to let you do the down payment so that everything starts to work, right? It always feels like the priming the engine with the cash you already are sitting on, right?
Sure.
So that's a really great idea to do that. Well, so what happened is, since I was working with one client to do that, anytime you're in that energy of one client who's doing that, you start getting 6 or 7 other people that are calling to do the same thing. And I now have a client. This is a record number of homes that we're putting under one blanket loan, but he's dealing with 14.
Wow.
I know.
So separate properties, separate zip codes.
Separate zip codes.
You're able to put a blanket loan in place.
Yep.
Based on the average of the values.
Yes.
And you're going to do a certain LTV, loan to value based on that. Well,
each of them will all have their own BPO, which is a broker's opinion of value, or BOV. Those are all the same thing.
Yep.
Their appraisals are not required because we're doing the BPO. Generally, those are somewhere between $250 to $500 for each one of them. So they all stand on their own. All of the loans all of the homes need to be valued at $100,000 or more.
Okay.
We do have some lenders who will do a little less, but the deals are going to end up being different. So $100,000 or more. And then what we did with the one group is that we just took out, as far as the cash refi, is 50% of the equity of the home.
Okay.
Right, is what we took out. And then that created for them $105,000 that they were able to take and start reinvesting in other things. So that's growing their wealth. That's what's happening, is that they're being able to now live their dream and grow their wealth.
Yeah. And that's something outside of a conventional loan, an FHA, a VA. We're talking outside of that. This is more in the business realm.
This is in the business realm, yeah, because you're thinking about you're thinking like a business owner at this point, right?
Absolutely.
So you're now strategically working, making the money work for you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's part of business. That's the way to grow wealth. And a lot of times it is involved with real estate. Real estate has been one of the number one drivers to create, I've heard the statistics saying it's created more millionaires than any other industry out there. So stay with us right here. Kelly Oliver, Business Loan Solutions, in studio. And we have our feel-good story of the day. Family builds blessing bike for 92-year-old who loves going on bike rides. Stay with us. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Jarek Robbins. You are listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show with Brandon Rhymes. Please do what it takes to learn all that you have to live the life you want to live it fully, and find a way to give it by paying it forward to others.
Get in touch with Brandon online at consumerqb.com.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
Hi, my name is Joe Stalteri. I'm one of the owners of Complete Care Systems. At Complete Care Systems, we do carpet cleaning, upholstery cleaning, tile and grout cleaning, tile and grout sealing, wood floor and laminate floor deep cleaning, as well as stripping and waxing of linoleum and vinyl floors, and a whole lot more. We also run daily deals and special, which you can find at CompleteCareSystems.com, or simply call Tricia up at 727-364-5158, and she'll answer all your questions and give you over the phone free estimates. Or she'll send me out to your home or office to give you an on-site free estimate. At Complete Care Systems, we don't cut corners, we clean them.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by Platinum MVP Realty. Published author, professional speaker. Check out our book on Amazon. Become the MVP in your industry by surfing the radio waves. We're teaching you the model of starting your own show, growing your celebrity, and we've taken that to another business that we launched with Ken Shamrock, the Ultimate Fighting Champion, WWF legend as well. Ken Shamrock, Des Woodruff, and we're excited about that. BGCA.co. And give a shout out here to our restaurant partner, Curry Leaves Restaurant, Indian and Thai cuisine on Kennedy Boulevard. It's Curry Leaves Restaurant. Check them out. They've got some really good flavors. Talk about teasing the taste buds there. You've got some really good food. The masala sauce is like really awesome. Chicken masala. And they've got the desserts and everything as well. Really good stuff. Curry Leaves Restaurant. Say hello to Saji and his team. Let them know that you heard about them here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And take them up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you are a fan of the show. All right, so December 6th, we want you to save this date. We got the Tampa Bay's largest speed networking event coming up. What a perfect time of the year to have give yourself a early present for the holidays, right? So an early Christmas present. Earthscape Garden Room, Palm Harbor, Alt 19, just off of Alt 19. Catered food from the award-winning catering company, Amici's Cater Cuisine. Bring a stack of business cards and learn how to grow your business with our speed networking event on December 6th. It's going to be an evening event over at Earthscape Garden Room, and we're going to be giving out Talk of the Town goodie bags. And if you're a business owner, you want to have something in those bags, just reach out. Let us know. 813-670-7372. Give us a call or a text to our hotline, 813-670-7372. You can call or text our hotline anytime. We're going to make sure we get right back to you. All right, we got a hot listing here. Compliments of PlatinumMVPRealty.com. 1370 Gulf Boulevard, unit number 401 on Clearwater Beach. This is the Bella Rosa condo, 3 bedrooms, 3 bath. It's a end unit, so you've got windows on the side. Beautiful property here. $1.149 million listing of mine, and it's a beautiful property right on Clearwater Beach, one of the top beaches in the world. And Clearwater Beach, a beautiful condo, Bella Rosa condo here. Hot property in Tampa Bay. Somewhere sunny and 75. All right, so we got Kelly Oliver here in studio, Business Loan Solutions, talking about fixing and flipping real estate. We're talking about blanket loans on multiple properties, all types of business loans. I always say, with business owners, I think cash flow is king. If you don't have cash flow, then you run into a situation. And if you're a small business, you're kind of growing. Sometimes you're on a small budget. You're kind of growing your business, but you just knew, like, man, if I had an extra $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 that I could put into my business, invest it in this area or that, man, I could really exponentially grow.
Yes. Well, and what we're always looking for is that you have some kind of business plan. So you've taken that out of dream state,
yes,
and moved that into actual plans. Because when you have the actual plans, that's when we can help you the most. Even if your credit score is compromised, we can work with you still, because there are lenders who will come. It's just going to cost you more money to get those kinds of loans. But several different programs. I mean, we have working capital programs, we have cash advance type programs, we have credit card programs, which really, I will tell you right now, I know people get scared about the whole credit card programming system, but really, for you to be able to get 0% interest for 6, 8, 12, 18 months, and you're paying one fee to do that, you spread over that period of time, I will tell you that's a really great bargain. And then the interest rates aren't really out of this world once the promotional period is over, right? So that can be used as a working capital strategy that people aren't even thinking about. They're thinking this traditional thing where they have to go to the bank and they have their bank account and then they have this working capital loan, but that's not the case anymore. Really, there's just so many ways that you can make cash available to you that as a business owner that you're saying, listen, I strategically want to move into this new product that I want to bring to the table. It's going to cost me X amount of dollars to do that. But my revenues I'm going to generate out that are 10, 20, 30 fold from that.
Yeah.
Listen, that makes good business sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you got to have the backing on paper. You got to have a well thought out plan. What type of plans are you looking for? I mean, it used to be so detailed, real detailed. I think now it's more of just a 1 or 2 page. Give us a synopsis. Give us some juice here. Tell us why we want to believe in you.
Exactly. And it's so funny that you say that, because people, their biggest thing, that the fear that they have is they're going to have to write a 25-page business plan. I will tell you, there's not a soul on this planet that's going to read that 25-page business plan.
Right. It's such a fast pace now. So even in the lending side, you're saying simplify.
It is. Simplify. A couple of pages. We can help all of our clients work with their business plan to get the most important information that the lenders want to know.
Yes.
Right? Because the rest of it's the fluff stuff. They don't really care about that.
Yeah.
But they want to know strategically, how are you going to be compensated, and how are you going to repay my loan that I now have entrusted you? And they will all believe in you.
Mm-hmm.
They do want to know how they're going to get paid back. Right?
Yes.
How they're going to get the money back.
That's what it's all about. Repaying the loan, repaying the debt, building up more credit, taking out a bigger loan next time, growing your credit. And that's how a lot of companies have grown. And when you think about the Ubers of the world and these huge companies, they go out and look for investors, so they're doing, a call for investors. Hey, invest in our company. You're going to see returns. And some people have made a lot of money through some of those companies like that.
It's true. But, they still had to come together with a business plan.
Yes.
They still had to convince people that they could make money, because their concept was one where that was so outside the norm and the thought process that they had to go through several investors to tell them what their plan was and what they were really trying to do and how this was going to be wildly successful. So even for them at the beginning, they still struggled just to even have a great idea.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard Gary Vaynerchuk talking about how he passed on Uber in some of the early rounds, and he's like, man, if I would have invested in that instead of making 10 million on it, I would have made 100 million on it. So it's always hindsight 2020 in a lot of cases.
Always is.
Who would have thought back that you could summon a car with your smartphone, and even now I'm hearing some parents, instead of when they turn 16, instead of buying their kids a car, they're giving them like unlimited Uber for the year or whatever it might be.
Yeah, well, if you think back in the 70s when we were all growing up, it was hitchhiking, and that was like no, you don't want to do that because you don't trust a stranger getting into their car. But we get in strangers' car every day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and especially putting our kids in a car.
Hey, we just spoke about it. You'll be fine.
Some random dude driving your kid to school or wherever, to a concert, who knows. But yeah, so hopefully they're screening those people pretty well and doing background checks and all that stuff. But yeah, it's interesting.
They're doing a good job to do that.
So it's another example though of American ingenuity and the entrepreneurial spirit.
It is. And you made another point too that I just want to kind of circle back around with, is that when you're thinking about financing and strategies and how to get the money and where your big plans are, sometimes our clients have really big dreams, which is great. We want to help that. But they're going to be in a stepping stone process to get there.
Yes.
And that's where we shine. So we can come to the table and show our clients what's the next step that they need to take, the next step that they need to take. Our intention is to work with our clients long term to help them grow and build their wealth. So, we do say we're business loans. We are somewhat in the wealth building business as well. So
I like that.
Because people don't know. They really literally believe that the only choice or outlet to go is to a bank in order to get their funding. And then when they have this really great dream, they go to the bank and the bank says no. Right? That's always a hard thing to do. Their dreams just got rejected.
Yep.
They're not looking at the money was the problem.
Yeah.
Their dreams got rejected.
Or a lot of times, when you walk into the big banks in the corner, first of all, I don't like, they're the ones that took the bailout money, went out and bought all the best real estate on every best corner of the United States, so I'll save that rant. But when it comes into programs, sheer programs, they don't have the programs. They're not going to be able to shop outside of the normal stuff.
They don't. And, the client I was telling you about where we just funded 3 of their homes so that we could do a blanket loan and pull the loan out. Mm-hmm. They originally went to their bank with this idea and this concept, and the bank said no. They sat on that no for 3 or 4 months before they had enough inspiration
Inspiration.
to pick up the phone and call me and
Yep.
say, this is what I want to do. And as I was talking to them, it was like, oh yeah, that's not a problem. We can do that all day long. And they're like, really?
And their reaction was like, wow, we just wasted 3 months sitting on this idea.
He says that all the time.
Yeah.
And we closed their loan in 5 weeks.
Wow.
So even though they had 3 properties all spread in different counties
Yep.
in our area even, and we were still able to close their loan in 5 weeks. So now we're on to the next one because they're in the business purchasing. So
Nice.
we're moving on with the next round of their process. And he says, Kelly, he says, you make it so fun and interesting. He says, whatever question I have, you just answer whatever question it is that I have.
I like it.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. That's where you got to be. And I imagine you're taking a very educational approach as you're going through this process.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because you can only make good decisions if you've got the good information to make a good decision with.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's the entrepreneur spirit is alive and well, and there's opportunities out there. There's ways that you can obtain financing, even though you think you can't. You got to keep unturning those stones, keep looking. And I think a big quote is one that I like a lot from one of my mentors, Tony Robbins. He says, people drastically overestimate the amount that they can accomplish in 1 year. They get really ambitious on January 1st, right? But then they severely underestimate what they can accomplish in 5 years.
I know.
With steady, disciplined movement and working in the right direction.
Totally true.
All right, stay with us right here. Consumer Quarterback Show. More from our expert contributors in studio. We have our feel-good story of the day. Family builds blessing bike for 92-year-old who loves going on bike rides. Stay with us. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Ian Beckles here with
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by Platinum MVP Realty. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes, and got a couple of hot listings I want to let you know about here up in Pasco County. This one is, it's 6526 Yvette Drive in Hudson. This is beautiful waterfront property, another waterfront listing of Platinum MVP Realty. We've got a canal access to the Gulf of Mexico here on Yvette Drive in Hudson. It's the Hudson Beach Estates, 3 bedrooms, 4 bath. 2,100 square feet heated, 3,700 square feet total. Just reduced $50,000 down to $537,000. Beautiful property, custom-built home, built to the Miami-Dade hurricane standards. So great property there, great opportunity. Short sale, by the way, so you just make an offer close to list price, and we'll get you processing with the bank. 103 South Havana Avenue is another beautiful listing. 5 bedrooms, 4 bath, reduced down to $516,000 here in Tampa Bay. It's a charming property in South Tampa. Plant High School District, Wilson Mitchell High School Schools District as well here in beautiful Tampa Bay. Hot properties. All right, so we got Kelly Oliver in studio, Business Loan Solutions. Before we go back to her, I want to mention our feel-good story of the day.
Tell me something good.
Okay, so we got a family that builds a blessing bike for a 92-year-old who loves going on bike rides. So 92-year-old Rosemary, source of Idaho, has always loved going on her bike rides. Now she can again, thanks to her family. They call it a blessing bike. It's simply a cargo-style bicycle retrofitted to carry Rosemary. And Rosemary's daughters, Jill, had the idea to build a special bike for her mother after seeing a video on Facebook. I was on Facebook and saw the video from Copenhagen. A volunteer built a bike and was taking seniors all over the place. I was watching, and those people on their face, and moms on the couch, and who would take the in a wheelchair versus having a bike. And any way you could make something like this, and she said, like she always does, I think that could be made. So Jill and Wade bought an old rusted cargo bike on Craigslist, made the modifications and repainted it. They gave it to Rosemary for her birthday. We had a man stop us on the street. He pulled over in a parking lot and physically stopped us on the road and just started crying and said, I wish I had this for my mom. How do you build this bike? What do you do? So Jill said, so I think this isn't just about us. It's about what we can do for all other elderly family members and helping them experience the season in their life at the very end as much as possible. So they decided to call it a blessing bike. This is lovely. I like the freedom that's going to be able to go outside. Rosemary said, it makes you feel good. I feel loved, and you're not just sitting around. It's heavenly, and it must be from like being from heaven. So blessing bike, pretty cool story. Nice pictures on our show. If you tune into our WeBeam TV show, you see the pictures of that. Yeah. If not, you can kind of go off the verbal here. It's just basically like a bike with what do you build, like a big oversized basket in the front, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, look pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, good story. So every day we're bringing the positivity to you on our Tell Me Something Good segment, and yeah, we're having a little fun here in studio. So, all right, so let's go back to Kelly Oliver. So, Kelly, we're talking about business loans, business fix and flips on real estate, business loan solutions. We talked about blanket loans as well, encumbering multiple properties under that. I wanted to get your opinion on the economy because I know you talk to economists and you've been to some of the different meetings.
I do.
What do you see happening? What's going on?
Well, you know, once upon a time, and I think this is where this old belief system comes in, is that I have to go to my bank in order to get my loan. And there's, it's either a bank or a hard money lender.
Right.
And I'll tell you, when the downturn happened and the banks became restricted in different ways, then a whole host of opportunities started to show up as far as people who were their lending strategies. So we work with over 100 different lenders who have their own special programs that are willing to lend you money in your business, your real estate, your like whatever it is that you're trying to do. We don't do personal loans, but we do the rest of them in order to get your business financing. So that is strategically changed, even though it does affect the economy because people are not thinking outside the box. So they're being a little stifled in what they're doing. Now, as far as the economy is because now all of these new opportunities have come to the table. One area that we're going to see that's going to start to spike a lot, I'm already starting to see it now, is in business acquisitions.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So there are the business owners. They've been in business for 20, 30 years. Their intention was to leave their business to their children. Their children's are now doing their own thing, or it didn't quite work out the way they thought. And dad, and I'm going to say those were all dads at the time, how they're now 72, 75, 82 years old. They're still working in their business and they just want a break. And, at this point, their business is going to put them in the grave because they're experiencing some health issues also. Yeah. So the time has come for them to now either make a decision whether they're going to liquidate their business, which means close their doors and their products are no longer available, or they are going to sell their business. And sometimes they're going to sell their business at, what they want and what they get are going to be two different things.
Yes. Yes.
But, if they sell the business, they're smart, because here's where my concern is.
Mm-hmm.
There are 50 million employees that are working in small businesses. And when those small businesses actually begin to close or they decline and those products aren't available, those workers are going to be displaced.
Yeah.
And so, as a business owner, if you're thinking in terms of, I strategically want to grow my business, a way to do that is through acquisition. And the time is right to do that. Manufacturing, especially in the manufacturing space, if you have a business that's even close to that, or your business is built on the manufacturing of a product that you have, you want to be looking at the manufacturers that are who are doing that, because that might be a strategic acquisition for you as well.
Interesting.
If
you vertically integrate.
Exactly, exactly, because then that's just going to put more money in your pocket and save.
Yeah.
So those are the economic things that are starting to happen, that we see that's coming, and it is really going to be the largest transition of wealth that we have seen in 100 years. I mean, it's that big. So if you're even just starting to think about business flipping or business acquisitions, now's the time to start looking at that and investing in it.
Interesting. Yeah, you look at trends, you look at global trends that, we all know about the baby boomers, they're aging, and the assisted living facilities. I think that's another huge area for real estate. And it's frustrating too, like dealing with, in the past where I've sold vacant land or had vacant land under contract, the neighbors want to hem and haw about, we don't want that built in this neighborhood, or at the, at the end of our street. There's going to be so much traffic, and there's going to be, but it's like, at what point do we have a moral obligation to shut up and let them do it?
Yeah.
It's just frustrating, because I remember I went downtown and sat in the meeting, and I hear everybody crying and complaining, and I didn't get a chance to stand up. I guess I had to register before but they moved on to the next thing. But it's frustrating, because that's a part of the America, especially arguably the greatest generation.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys took us back, guys and gals took us back from war and rebuilt the country. I mean, then we're going to tell them, no, we can't build an ALF in our backyard.
Yeah. And, there's a shortage. Well, in looking at trends, right, there's a tremendous shortage in senior housing.
Right.
And that is getting more uneven, because
more pronounced.
Because the population is still aging. And that we're not stopping that. Like, there's not a way to stop that from happening. That is happening. That's coming. That wave is coming. It's like a tidal wave, right? That wave is coming. It's up to us as a community, really, to make that nice and easy and smooth transition for them.
Sure.
And it goes beyond just the my parents conversation.
Right.
It is your parents and their parents and other people's parents that, or even people where they've lost their children and they really have no place to go.
Yeah.
Right. So that doesn't mean that they have money. It's not that they can't provide for themselves. They have the money to do it. They just need a place to go to make that happen.
Yeah. Someone to physically help move them and get in that process. So
and and that part is changing as well too, as far as senior housing is. Used to be that was a lot more institutional, so people didn't want that in their backyard because it was so institutional, ugly buildings. You knew it was like a hospital. It was going to make the neighborhood go down. We're not building those kinds of properties anymore.
Right.
In senior housing, they are luxurious. They're comfortable to get to. Their layout and floor plans are comfortable and easy to get to. I mean, it's a very pleasant. These are pleasant places these days.
Yeah, it is. And especially with the one I was mentioning, it had an equestrian feel to it with nice oak trees. They're going to have horses on site to, to have where, they can enjoy that. But yeah, so, we're underserving that particular, but, hey, rounding it out, Business Loan Solutions, Kelly Oliver, lots of opportunities to get involved and help your business grow. Maybe someone of is in business, maybe have them reach out, consumerqb.com. You can find all of our contact information at consumerqb.com. And Kelly Oliver, again, thanks so much for coming in. Appreciate the nuggets of advice, and always a pleasure. So we want you to go out there and please consider committing a random act of kindness. Pack up some food or clothing, hand it to that person that you see in need. Be a force for good in the community. There's always opportunities to volunteer as well. If you don't don't have monetary or clothing that you can give away, give your time. That's one of the most important things you can give. And there's many organizations around town that could use volunteers, churches, all types of opportunities to get involved. So we want you to go out there and consider committing that random act of kindness. Do something kind, and continue to follow us online. We'd love to connect with you online at Brandon Rhymes1 on Instagram and Twitter. We've got the Consumer Quarterback Show pages, Real Estate Quarterback Show page as well here. So thanks so much. Another great show. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show, weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380. The Biz.
Are you a real estate agent looking to take your business to the next level and supercharge your marketing? Hi, I'm Brandon Rhymes, owner of Platinum MVP Realty and host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show, syndicated radio and TV show talk program on iHeartRadio, 1025 The Bone, daily 5 o'clock drive time on 1380 The Biz, and our TV show is on WeBeam TV. We're looking for real estate agents that want to join our team and supercharge their marketing utilizing some of our innovative strategies. We utilize the Real Geeks platform, Facebook marketing, internet marketing, and a lot of the traditional methods as well. Postcard mailers mailed for you, postage, signage, business cards, all paid for by the company. Aggressive real estate splits and ways to help you win in any marketplace. We need you to go out, take applications, and work our plethora of leads that we're generating on a daily basis. Reach out by clicking the form below, and we'd love to have a confidential interview with you.